Many fantasy gamers are struggling trying to find wide receivers to trade for, and I have a method that I use to try and find wide receivers on the cheap. Mainly, I try to find wide receivers who are getting a lot of workload through air yards and targets, but not being productive. The not being productive part drives down their value, and with them getting workload, hopefully they see production in the near future. I scrubbed some spreadsheets today trying to find some more wide receivers for you to trade for or to look at. In today's video, we're going to look at 5 wide receivers who at least had a 20% target share and 250 plus air yards through weeks 3 and 5. And then from that sort, I just took the least productive wide receivers from there. So let's go ahead and take a look at these wide receivers. The first wide receiver we're going to talk about is Darnell Mooney. On the Bears, low volume passing attack, but high target share at 28.1%. That's almost elite level. Usually once you hit that 30% range, that's pretty elite. 16 targets over 3 games, which is a concerning number from a volume standpoint. Target share and route participation standpoint, though, means that if he's in a plus matchup and the ball's slinging in the air, there's a good chance that he'll hit. That's the thing. He's a guy that you may want to use more in DFS, especially when his salary is low. But he's a guy you throw in your flex and close your eyes if that over-under is pushing like 45, 48, 50 on the betting lines. Because there's a chance that if the ball's slinging around that he could have a good game for you. The next wide receiver we're going to look at today is DJ Moore. 25% target share. We're losing our coach. We're getting a new one in. Things could be changing. Baker Mayfield hasn't looking good. But a 25% target share right now, averaging 8.4 PPR fantasy points per game. 25 points so far in the last 3 weeks. But 25 targets in 3 games was not bad. A 97.1 route participation rate and 266 air yards. The workload's there. Maybe it'll eventually click. He's borderline free. And I bet you there are some leagues out there, somebody watching this video, I guarantee one of you guys watching, that he's been dropped. Someone's going to start dropping him. People will, and that might give you the opportunity to pick him up and use him as your flex or see what happens with the new changes going on in Carolina. But right now, 25 fantasy points in 3 weeks does not look good, but the volume's there. He will be a cheap wide receiver for you to get via trade and maybe even the waiver wire if you have a manager in your league who dropped him, especially those shorter bench leagues, maybe 6 bench slots or 5, whatever is you're playing with. The next wide receiver we're looking at is Deontay Johnson. Quarterback issues here is driving down his value, it's driving down his price. Kenny Pickett's in the fold. In the last 3 weeks, almost 30 fantasy points, 9.7 PPR points per game, 25% target share, 27 targets. So the volume's there. Volume's looking good. 98.5 route participation rate. Fair amount of air yards, over 100 a game last 3 weeks. So eventually, if you're getting that kind of volume, you're going to eventually hit. And if Kenny Pickett is allowed to sling it some more, if we're getting in more dogfights in the passing game, there's going to be some games where he blows up on you. And Deontay Johnson's a guy you're going to want to think about. And right now, the price is down. You might be able to trade for him on the cheap. Maybe you got an extra running back. Maybe you got a wide receiver you're not really keen on. You've been eyeing Deontay Johnson for a bit. You're a Steelers fan. Or you just like these workload metrics or whatever. Maybe you can catch him on the cheap. The thing about these trades is not all trades are going to work for you. Not all these players here are going to work for you. That's why I do multiple of these videos a week. That way there may be a player or two that catches your eye. You like the workload metrics. You've been thinking about them and you think now's the time to try and make that trade offer for. This is here to help you out that way. So the next player, same team, George Pickens. George Pickens is the hot waiver wire claim this week. So that is where you're going to get him in a lot of leagues off the waiver wire or on the back end of somebody's roster who's been stashing him. So either way, he's cheap. 37.4 fantasy points the last 3 weeks. 12.5 average per game in the last 3 weeks. 21.2% target share. 23 targets in 3 weeks. And we're seeing his workload increase. Air yards are pretty good. Well over 100 a game. 346 air yards in 3 weeks. Getting targets downfield. He's been making plays. The volume's getting there. And we could see him explode or at least be more productive going on further in the season. Him and Deontay Johnson, you just got to think about. Last wide receiver. And he is cheaper than expected. The point totals, the production's cheaper or lower than expected. And that's Jamar Chase. 37.8 fantasy points last 3 weeks. 12.6 per game. That might have some managers in scrambles right now, or they're diamond fisting. So you got two scenarios. 27.5% target share, damn near elite. 28 targets. You can't go wrong with that. He's the most targeted wide receiver on this list. 98.7 route participation rate. So he's always on the field running routes. 285 air yards. Can't be mad at that. The workload's fine. The workload's there. The workload is expected here for Jamar Chase. Eventually it's going to click, especially you keep getting this workload. If you're getting damn near 30% target share, eventually it's going to click. Maybe not for Darnell Mooney because of his situation, but he's eventually going to click too and probably some plus matchups. But Jamar Chase is probably going to have some explosive weeks. But with Jamar Chase getting a high-end target share, a lot of targets, it's eventually going to stick. And if the manager in your league in redraft is waffling on him, maybe you can sneak him off his roster with a running back you don't like. Maybe you can toss him some fool's gold, depending on what you got. But I wouldn't be surprised if you can't get him either, because he's a tough guy to trade for. Just be open-minded and objective. But the overall thing here is to give you suggestions for you to make ideas to trade for, really. You don't have to trade for any of these guys. You don't have to think any of these guys are buy lows. However, these guys are players who are getting workload, but their production is not matching it. It's been over a 3-week sample, so you might be able to catch them on the cheap. And here are just 5 suggestions for you. This isn't a take. Some of these guys I'm really interested in. I'm more interested in probably the Steelers players here and Jamar Chase. DJ Moore, dynasty-wise, he's probably a good price tag right now. But honestly, redraft-wise, I'm very interested to see what his price tag is. So I will kick his manager in the shins, see if I can catch him free. What if I can catch him for one of my bench players that I hate? I don't know. I don't know what the price is going to be. I imagine it's all over the place right now. Same with Darnell Mooney. Kind of scared of the Bears offense, but still, I know going forward in a plus matchup here and there, we know he's going to hit somewhere down the line. It's going to be a couple games. It'll give you some wide receiver 1 production. You just have to start him. You just have the balls to start him there. That's the question. Can you do it? But really, this is all on you. Who do you want? Who do you want to pick up? Who do you want to trade for? I did another video like this yesterday. Those are more waiver wire guys, but also guys to trade for as well, just to keep the wheels turning. But let me know in the comments who you're after this week. I'll keep scrubbing them spreadsheets, and if I find another data set of players that are interesting that we can go after on the cheap, I'll do another video, and I'll just keep making videos to help you guys out. But I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. It's going to help you out with your fantasy team for the rest of the season, because I'm giving you all types of ideas, rankings, waiver wire ads, pickups, trades, whatever I can come up with, I'm throwing it on the channel. I want to thank you for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next video.